Good morning. It's Thoughtful Thursday. I call it Thoughtful Thursday because it's, if you are going to achieve one thing this week, today is the day to think about what that is. It might only be a little thing, but it's really important, I think, for along with all the rest of the stuff that you achieve, that just being a teaching assistant means that you achieve on a daily basis because children just feel safer with you in the classroom. Think of that one thing that you want to achieve and how you'll feel on Friday when you're leaving work and you've done it. It might just be a little thing. It might be finishing off a display. It might be, I don't know, tidying up the book area, something. Or anything, you know, any of your interventions. You know, I don't want to use sort of things that people think TAs typically do. You're you know, many of you are very academic lot. So think of something you just haven't quite done and get it done, because you will feel a greater sense of achievement for yourself. Right, this week we have been talking about being less dog, and by that I mean not reacting to the same things over and over again, where in a way where you get wound up. So being less dog, your poor dog has not got that sophisticated part of its brain which enables it to think, maybe I won't, you know, go mad when he or she winds me up over the imaginary cat. Maybe I'll just chill out. Your dog can't do that. And often human beings act as though they can't do it either. So that person who does something or says something that winds you up time and time and time again, you know, you can do something about it. We do have that sophisticated part of our brain that enables us to have conscious thought and change our behaviour. And this week has been about working out how to change that behaviour, and you have to make it conscious. You have to be aware of what you're doing. So to make you aware, on Tuesday I said to you, make a list of the people that do or say things that wind you up. It's important to bring those into your consciousness by writing them down. And then yesterday I said, think of alternative responses. Hi there, Bev, nice to see you. Think of alternative responses to the things that people say or do that wind you up. It's important to think of those so that you know what you can do. So you can ignore someone. You can, if it's one of those, you know, very annoying, helpful but annoying people that like to give you helpful suggestions, you can just thank them and walk away. If it's your other half, maybe you could laugh and walk away. Think of an alternative response, because today I'm going to teach you the Superpower Tool that will enable you to shortcut your way to that alternative response. So the thing that normally lets us down in stopping ourselves from getting wound up, because as we know, it's when it's something that triggers us, it happens in a split second and we're off. So I want to show you a superpower tool that will stop you in your tracks so that you change your behaviour. And this was something that I was taught when I did a course on panic. I wanted to help people with their panic attacks, and I knew that the bog standard way of dealing with panic attacks just doesn't seem to work. And on this particular course, the psychologist was teaching a shortcut to changing your behaviour. Now, I don't want to go into all the stuff on the course, but basically the psychologist was teaching that, you know, so often we try to avoid the thing that creates the panic, and what you actually have to do is to consciously confront it by touching the ghosts. That's what he calls confronting the thing that causes panic. Touch the ghost. And I've used this so many times now because touch the ghost just comes into my head. So for instance, when I take my dogs out, which is on a daily basis, Freya is very reactive on a lead. And so when we're in the street and she's on a lead, if we see another dog, she will try and get across to it and bark at it and get it to disappear. That's because a dog off a lead confronted her when she was on a lead, and that made her feel very threatened. So she's now very reactive on a lead. That has had a ramification for me because it's made me want to avoid all dogs on the street. So I got into a little tizzy by, you know, if I saw a dog before Freya did, I would about turn and we'd come home. Well, I knew this was no good, so I started to deploy the touch the ghost approach. And now when I see another dog in the street, along with the clicker, because I've got a clicker for Freya, that's her shortcut. As soon as she hears the clicker, I give her a treat. Clicker, treat, clicker, treat. So now if there's another dog in the street, she turns to me, I click the clicker, she gets a treat. And we're doing well with this now. But for me, thinking about touch the ghost, when I see a dog in the street, rather than doing an about turn and come home, I think to myself, no, touch the ghost. That means confront it, touch the ghost. So, okay, I digress, but I wanted to demonstrate how these shortcuts work. So the shortcut for you when somebody winds you up is to think, be less dog. So think of a person who winds you up and imagine the person doing or saying that thing that winds you up, and imagine yourself thinking, be less dog. Now the key to this is to imagine it several times to get your brain into the habit of thinking this, be less dog. So if you walk into the kitchen and you see that half empty mug of coffee that could have just been put in the sink or in the dishwasher, rather than go off on a rant over it, because we know that these you know, going off on a rant, getting angry, it just is a waste of time and energy. Think to yourself, be less dog, and practice your alternative response. So, you know, pick the cup up, empty it out, put it in the dishwasher or in the bowl, you know, and it's done. You're not wasting time and energy and thinking, oh, why don't they do, you know, why don't they clean it up? Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? Don't waste your time and energy on that. So, to be clear, what I'm suggesting this week is that you write down a list of the things that people do and say that trigger you, that send you off on a wound up rant. Think of alternative responses and then use the superpower shortcut that I'm giving you today, which is to say to yourself, be less dog. And that will be the shortcut to tell your brain, I'm going to respond differently to it this time. All right. It's a really, really useful way to change your behavior quickly. Your brain needs something to tell it quickly, like the clicker does for Freya. She hears the clicker, she turns to me, she has a treat, she ignores the dog. So that is your shortcut. Be less dog. That's what you need to think to yourself, but you do need to practice it just throughout your day. Think of things that wind you up and then think, be less dog, and it will get your brain into the habit of it. And if you would like more superpower tools like that, then you need to join my membership. It's £4 a month. I've got lots of things in there, lots of videos and lessons that teach you different ways of thinking that make your life smoother and more seamless, rather than going through life wading through treacle, getting irritated by things, feeling like you're not good enough. All these things that human beings, and particularly TAs in schools, think to themselves. Go and join my membership. It's £4 a month. I update it every week with new videos, and it's got several superpower tools, and the list is growing. I will put the link to it in a separate post to this one, but basically if you go to taincontrol.com, you will get everything I have to offer. Anyway, I think that's quite a long one today, but I wanted to make it clear how you use your shortcut superpower tool, Be Less Dog. Thank you for joining me, Bev. I hope you have a really good day. It's nearly the end of the week, and I think today is supposed to be much, much better weather, which is brilliant because it's been very miserable here. It was very wet and windy on the moor, though it was amazing because we had lots of waterfalls, which was beautiful. Anyway, thanks for joining me, Bev, and thank you to anyone who watches this later. Give me a like or a love or share this video. I will be very, very happy if you do that. And I will see you on Monday. So have a brilliant weekend, everybody. And I will see you Monday. See you.